everyone, today I'm going to be doing a book review on Nightscape by Stephen R. George. This is a suspense, mystery, thriller, fantasy. The main characters we follow is Shep, who is a retired police officer from Chicago. We follow Evan, who is a little boy, and Bonnie, who is Evan's mom. In the beginning of the book, Bonnie gets a phone call from police officers saying her ex-husband, Harris, and her son were in a car accident, that Evan is alive in the hospital, but she needs to come immediately. So she goes there. Evan's sleeping when she shows up, and he's missing a finger. Like, apparently somehow in the car accident, his finger just got cut off or whatnot. So Bonnie ends up having to fight with her ex-in-laws. So it's her ex-husband's parents, because they want to take the temporary custody of Evan, and she doesn't want that. She doesn't have any kind of custody over Evan because during the time of the divorce, she was going through a lot of mental and emotional health issues, and she knew it would be better for Evan to go with his dad. So she still gets to see him, but it's not very often. So she actually hasn't seen him for a couple months before the car accident. Bonnie gets custody of Evan, and they go to her house, which is very different from Evan's father's house. It's a lot smaller, but he gets used to it really quickly. He ends up liking certain aspects of the house, so even though he points out negative things right away, there's good things that he notices. Evan starts to experience some weird things. His mom, Bonnie, lets him dress his own finger. He starts to notice that his finger, which was gone, is slowly starting to grow back. Not only that, he notices that his skin is starting to peel. He doesn't tell anybody. He just keeps it a secret because he's embarrassed or scared. I mean, Bonnie ends up figuring it out eventually. Like, she walks into his room and sees it, and they address it then. But as a little kid, you know, being like around 10 years old, it was really scary for him to go through that. On top of all that, though, Evan, is starting to get the feeling that someone is following him. Someone is watching him. Someone is trying to talk to him in his dreams. He's having like these really weird dreams about like adult women trying to kiss him, and it's really freaking him out. He tells Bonnie, his mom. Bonnie takes him to a psychiatrist or a therapist who basically tells Bonnie that she's projecting her own fears onto Evan. And that's why Evan is having all these dreams, why he's scared, why he thinks someone's following them around in the store. Shep is a retired cop. He has been waiting over 6 years to try and find his brother's killer. His brother was found dead in the woods with a bunch of claw marks on him, and the conclusion to that investigation that somebody other than Shep did was that he was attacked by wild animals while he was out hunting or hiking, and his body just got mangled like that. Shep knows better because his brother sent him a letter saying that the girl he liked wasn't human, or the people that his girlfriend lived with were not human. They were some sort of creatures, and he was going to go get back what he had lost from them. And after that letter had been sent, that's when Shep's brother was found dead. Shep didn't go and try to do any kind of investigation because at that time, their mom was dying. So Shep waited while he was taking care of his mom until she passed away, and then he picked up the trail. So that's a pretty cold trail. He waited 6 years to get started on a case. Like, that's a pretty cold trail, but luckily for him, he was able to find people actually fairly fast who are a part of the organization in the group he's trying to infiltrate or take down. During this process of Shep trying to find his brother's killers, he ends up running into Bonnie and Evan. He doesn't know why, how necessarily that they're involved with these people or these creatures or whatever you want to call them. He just can tell, he can see that these people are actively trying to follow and kidnap Evan. So he reaches out at one point to make contact with Evan. Evan already having to deal with these fears and these issues with his dreams happening. He runs for it. Shep chases him down. They end up in an alley. Shep protects him. And this is the beginning to the bond of trust, to where Shep is able to help Bonnie and Evan later on in the story, because now Evan can vouch for him and be like, oh no, like, Shep's a good guy. Shep is a little trigger happy. He definitely does not care if he has to shoot whoever, if they're the bad guy or a part of the bad group. It doesn't matter age, gender, it don't matter. Like, if he gets information that he wants, like, he will torture people to get the information he wants about who killed his brother. During one of Shep's brawls with the creatures that he's hunting, he does get scratched on the neck, and from then on he has to deal with it being itchy and inflamed, and then he starts feeling nauseous and dizzy, and it progresses as the days go by. It progressively gets worse and worse and worse, his symptoms, where he starts to feel like something bad is going to happen because of this scratch. Bonnie does go to the police several times when she feels like they're being followed. Her and Evan are being followed, when Evan's having like these weird dreams and telling her stuff. Like, she does talk to the police, and she feels like the police aren't doing as much as they could be doing. And this is one of the reasons why she's so willing to work with Shep when Shep finally comes into the picture as well. She's kind of desperate in a way, because no one is really helping her and Evan, at least not to the degree that she expects them to. So most of the book is Shep trying to find the killers to his brother, Bonnie and Evan trying to initially find Harris, which is Evan's dad, trying to get Evan healthy since his body's going through these weird changes. And then eventually, how are they going to evade the bad guys and the creatures that are coming to take Evan away? And are they going to be able to? I did like the book. It was not what I was expecting. I was expecting something more gruesome, more horror, but that's why in the beginning I said it was more suspense than anything, or thriller, because it does not have the same amount of like blood and gore that I would associate with horror. I do like the body morphia bit to it, where Evan is going through his transformation of like the skin peeling and the rashes, and later on in the book you get to figure out like why. And I'm not touching base on any of the end bits of it, just in case you want to read it, but I will say that it's pretty rare where I read something and I can't predict the ending to it. And I did like that aspect of that, is towards the end, like the final couple chapters, there are things that happen that I was not expecting to happen. Yeah, sure, there was some stuff that I was expecting, but a lot of it, not a lot, but there were things I was not expecting to happen, and it kind of threw me for a little loop, and I really enjoyed that. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. My next reads should be The Killings in the Snow. That's a true crime run one I'm not done with yet. And then I am going to start Ember Blade with my buddy Wade, and that will be our buddy read. I don't know when I'm going to finish that one, because I think it's It's a 30-hour audiobook, so it's going to be a minute. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you're outside today, drink water. I know at least here it's going to be very hot, like 105. So stay hydrated, everyone. Bye.